So, guys, have you heard about the new laws? There's a couple of them. The OQLF wants to add.
Okay, what?
This is based
What's
on the
what?
new law of 69 or 9, what was it?
69,
The
baby.
law in 96.
OQLF
the new
wishes
law.
is 69.
I'm all right with that law.
Hey, question. What's the QLF? What's that?
OQLF, Office de la Langue Française.
Office
Okay.
Québécois
The-
de la
the-
langue
La
française.
régie.
The Régie
Langue.
Loi 101.
Régie means like any government entity, right? Any
Ministry.
French?
The
They're a
Ministry of
government
Truth.
entity that enforces Law 10, the Law 101, and now the new law that came into
Yeah.
effect.
No, what I'm asking when
fair.
you say the word régie is just any. What's the exact translation? It's any government building or government, not building.
It's not in Régie,
ministry.
it's office. It's an office. That's what they call it. L'Office de la Langue Française.
Okay, I thought everything in French is called a régie. Something.
Pas
like
le,
that.
pas le bureau. Pas le bureau comme en français, mais l'office.
L'office.
So-
But it's supposed to. It's actually. I thought why are they using an English word? But actually, I looked it up. It's still a word that
In French.
What's the word?
Yeah.
office.
Office.
That's some franglais over there. What do you mean?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But their whole that's what bothers me the most
Okay,
about.
second question. You guys didn't tell me what it is. For people who don't know, what's the law?
So
90%
wanna
of people
do-
don't know.
so they want to do. I don't know if you heard, but like appliance that now, the appliance stores and stuff like that now, instead of bake has to be written in French, or it says bake. You have your little bake, and then it's the other one for
Royal.
royal. Thank you. and
Oh,
all
on
that.
the ovens.
On the ovens, they want to change it. It also be in French now.
All your appliances have to be in French.
all your appliances
Bake
have
is
to be in
what?
French.
Bake is what?
Well, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is these companies, they mass produce for everybody.
Yeah.
They do it in a language that's uniform for everybody.
Let me
You can't
think.
you can't be
In Portugal, is it in English? Think of it in Italy. Are things written in English or Italian, like on appliances?
depending the
Well, the only appliance that actually has instructions is probably an oven, stove,
An oven, a
fridge doesn't have
microwave.
Fridge doesn't
Yeah.
have instructions. But anyway,
Oven, a microwave, a dishwasher.
you think it's in English or it's in Italian? Could you remember that?
I don't
They
remember.
Like
have
you just-
stickers though, like like they probably have, just like we have stickers that you just stick on, but it's probably the English manual first that's on your machine, most likely.
I'm just curious to know if you guys would
Bah.
recently, because
I'm not sure. I don't remember. Really don't remember.
think of it when you go to a country.
You could probably Google it and find out.
We
But
could
so
all-
they want to do that here, where on your washing machines, your microwave, your TV, your wherever,
So
whatever.
what? My TV can't have the fucking option English menu option.
your buttons.
Your buttons on your remote are going to
It's
be.
not,
You know that if you're working for a company
can't say mute.
that's a Canadian owned, but you're working in Quebec, your laptop or your computer has to be all in French.
Yeah,
You have to.
it
It's
has to be
ridiculous.
installed like the French Windows version. of
Yeah,
it.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If somebody's comfortable in English,
You could change that. That's
no, but you can change certain things of it.
yeah.
The-
It has
the
to
rest
come
of
by
it-
default,
Yeah.
but you could change it when you do it. Right? They just by law, the company initially has to offer you that. Now, force you to work in that? I don't know. Like, is someone going to come to your house or your office?
Well,
and, hey,
they're trying to push the fact that in a working environment, you have to be communicating with somebody, with your colleagues in French and no other language.
Yeah.
You can't force somebody to speak to each other in a language.
apparently
that you
they
desire.
could,
No,
Tony,
they
because they're
can't.
doing it.
No, they're trying
Apparently
to.
they
No,
could.
it's against you. If I'm working with you, and we're not serving customers, and I wanted to have a conversation
I
with
get
you
it.
in English, I'm not allowed to. I have to speak to you
I
in French.
100%
It's
get it.
bullshit.
But it's amazing that we say they can't do that when they can actually just could. It's crazy.
You know
All you
what?
have to do is
You
just
know what's
write a
very
law and then it becomes
hypocritical.
it.
You know what's very hypocritical is that they keep forcing the fact that they want to protect the French language, right? Okay, and that it's losing because a lot of these Anglophones and immigrants want to speak other languages, but yet themselves they don't even speak the language themselves. You hear them speak between themselves, and all you hear is commingle English words into their communication than the way they speak to each other. They don't even use proper French themselves, and they're complaining about everyone else. You want to conserve the French language. Learn how to speak the language properly yourselves instead of busting balls on other people. Speak the language properly yourselves. They can't even speak proper French.
Yeah.
Huh? You agree or you
I
disagree?
agree.
Yeah,
It's total bullshit.
votes, Tony, 2025.
But you know why?
Oh, this is such bullshit.
You know why there's
Stopper. What's stopper? Stopper is not a word. Stopper. You know? Weekend. Okay, now it's considered...
stop it.
they say,
Stop.
on va stopper là-bas.
Arrête.
Stopper is not a word. It's arrêter.
It is a word.
Huh?
It is a word.
Stopper.
Hey.
Yeah.
Stopper is not a word.
People use
it's
it.
an English word
Français.
with an A.
I hate that just because
It's
it's, not
Quebec- it's
officially in
Quebecois
a
French.
dictionary. It's not a word. If people are using it, and people understand what it
Yeah,
is. It's a word.
It's
in
a
my
word.
In my world, that's a word.
It's a franglais. It's a Quebecois.
Okay, but it exists. All languages came from other languages. They all
Stopper.
evolved, right?
They took an
And
English
this
word
franglais-
and they put an A at the end and stopper.
What's Creole? Creole is like our franglais. Creole is fucking Haitian mixed with French. And they morphed into this language.
What are we defending? Like, are we defending
No, but
a broken French? Are we defending?
what I'm saying is they're not saying they want to conserve the
No.
Quebec language. They're saying they want to conserve the French language, which
Yeah.
is completely. They're not speaking French. They can't even speak French themselves properly, and they want to say we're losing the French language. Well, you guys are not properly speaking, and you're blaming everyone else that is reducing the language. If you're saying, "Oh, well, I want to conserve our Quebec language because they intermingle English and French," that's one thing, but that's not what they're saying. So it's bullshit. You know, they're being hypocrites about it.
Poussin, Tony, j'aime comme tu.
I'm
T'as raison.
fed up of this shit.
So
We're the
thing
only
is-
we're the only province in this freaking country that language is a political issue. Anywhere else, it's not a political issue. Put money where it has to be put instead of wasting our time on this fucking stupid
100%.
language. It's not
Raison.
important. It's never gonna. Everybody speaks French. It's never gonna go away. We're always gonna speak French here. But embrace the fact that we're different here in Montreal. We have different languages. We have different cultures. We're very
Yeah.
European. We're not gonna lose the French. Because if
No,
we
but
were going to
that's-
lose the French, us that came here from our parents immigrated, we weren't going to learn English, French, Italian. We know 3-4 languages. Some of us. Them they speak one language. They can't even speak it properly, and they want to blame everyone
Tony-
else for losing
but Tony-
the language.
But Tony, we will. You know what? Why do you think they're being so severe and they're getting more severe and more severe? You know why? I watched a video about this. It's because the actual French population is going down in Quebec. So they're they're scared. They're like,
Not in
Really?
Quebec, in
Yes.
Montreal.
huh?
Maybe in Montreal.
No, all of Quebec is going decline. French people that identify as French speaking, because people speak French, but not everyone identifies as French speaking. And Montreal and around Montreal is basically the population of Quebec.
That's their problem. Make
province of
more
Quebec.
French babies. How does that? Why?
I understand, but that's why they're being so severe because the data. I'm just telling you, the data wise, they are shrinking. French speaking.
That's
so
a
that's why they're
terrible
getting
reason.
very.
But I'm not talking about the data. I'm talking about their argument.
But that's a symptom of that. It's because they feel like they're just like white Christians feel like they're being diminished in the United States, and they're very radical in the way they make laws and stuff like that. And
So
try
the
and
thing
push
they want to
ideals.
do, not to cut anyone off or whatever,
go
but just to get back. So they want to music stores now are a bit like what happened because they want instruments, right? Like amplifiers, guitars, whatever.
Marshall and stuff.
Yeah, guitar strings, all stuff like that to be written. Not the name like Marshall, but like
Instructions.
volume, treble, bass, mid, frequency, blah blah blah. They want it all written in French, and if it's not in French, it can't come into Quebec, basically. So if Marshall says,
Yeah,
well, you guys, whatever for
fuck
for
you.
the amount of money you bring us, we don't care anymore. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Then we won't have Marshall amps here
Yeah,
anymore.
Exactly. You're
What's
taking
the
away from-
loophole of like buying online? I guess they can't really control
They
that,
can't
right?
control that. Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna sell strictly
They're gonna
online.
just buy online. And the other thing is, you're asking also like acoustic guitar companies, but you know the stickers that they have inside the acoustic guitar in the sound hole that says the name and where made in blah blah blah. They wanted that to be whatever they can make translated from English back into French. That's what they want to do, and some guitar shops and music stores in general, like, but that's impossible. It's almost an impossible task for some companies to do. It just doesn't make sense. And the other thing I opened up tonight, and check this out. This one's wild. Sorry, this one's wild.
Get ready.
Quebec's language office has mandated a Gatineau cafe to post on its Instagram French or face penalties. You're going into a personal, like a cafe's personal account and telling them, you guys cannot post in English. What? Whoa.
Not allowed to control someone's
This is-
Instagram.
That is insane.
Overreaching, man. It's
That's
overreaching.
And
insane.
the sad thing, Instagram is mostly picture oriented. So that just that little line at the bottom to say something has to be in French. And what? The comments have to be in French too? You must respond to comments in French? Like how far are they going to take it?
It's ridiculous.
I got the whole article here and the whole paper that was sent from the OQLF. If you guys want to put
It's
it
just
up and read it
ignorance
or
at the end.
something,
It's just ignorance at the end of the day.
You
it's up to you. Yeah,
start reading a document
the document. Yeah, if you want to go through it quick.
through documents.
It's like a 2-page
You want to read
document.
the Declaration of Independence too now?
Sure, why not?
Force feeding somebody, what to do, what to think. Tony Montana saying that. I mean, like, it's just like your child. He doesn't like freaking potatoes. He doesn't want to get fed those potatoes. He's not going to eat those potatoes. So you try different ways to, get him used to potatoes, to encourage him and incentivize him,
Potatoes?
With potatoes. At least eventually he'll maybe taste one day, then the second day, and then he might actually enjoy it eventually and make it part of his routine.
You guys,
You can't just shove it down your
no,
throat,
exactly. It
man.
doesn't work, man. You
It's
just wanna
terrible.
Make people hate you. The OQLF's Instagram page, guys. We get more hits on our podcast than these guys do on their own posts.
That is
Well, it must be like the most. That's gotta be the most hated profile on social media.
It's terrible, man. Like, why?
Yeah, it's gross, honestly.
Hey, you know what? I imagine these guys at their office high-fiving each other. Guess what I did today?
Yeah.
I took down the music industry. Like, yeah, woo.
Well, sometimes, most of the time,
appliance industry. Yeah,
most of the time they have
Menus. That was me. Restaurant menus. That was me.
I took down a cafe nobody knows.
business
Fits 5
cards.
people.
Oh.
most of the time they have to answer to a complaint